Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I just wanted to make an update because a lot of you are probably wondering, hey, what's going on with all this YouTube stuff I keep hearing about? And I guarantee, unless you're following it as closely as me, which would strongly indicate you're another YouTube creator, you probably only have part of the information. So it was just revealed literally like a couple days ago what the whole picture is, and I think it was leaked by Mr. Beast, which is hilarious. All we know is ad revenues are down and views are down, and we don't know why. So my three primary channels are set up very differently from each other. Two of them are very heavily affected and one isn't, but now that I have the full picture, I'm very concerned. So, Desolator News Network news story update, I guess. Sometimes we cover the goblins in Zimbabwe, sometimes we cover magic news, and sometimes we cover real stuff. You never know what you're gonna get from the world's least consistent news network. So if I can make, I believe my record is 3 to 4 videos in one day, but the average YouTuber, I don't know, 1 a week to 1 a day, and people can generate a bunch of AI generated slop garbage about like some topic where they just like read Wikipedia and put together some ChatGPT thing and then have an AI voice that's somewhat almost convincing, read it, and then some idiots will click on it because they put a bunch of clickbait and keyword stuffed garbage in the title. That must be why ad revenues are down, right? People are still not 100% sure why ad revenues are down, but I think that is like the number one or number two source of the problem, yes. Are people on a different website? Is there a competitor? I mean, Rumble's still popping off, and Kick is kind of a new thing, but that's more of like taking from Twitch. Well, that would explain why views are down, but why are ads down, the ad rates? For me, they've been pretty consistent, and for the larger people, it's been really low. And that's because they're in a different tier, and they get into this special thing where they're more promoted for, like, you can bid on exactly their channel separately. I think you have to be 1 million plus to be in that category. Don't quote me on that. So they're seeing an actual drop. I'm just seeing it stay static. Well, there's nothing static about when it rolls over to November 1st. Your ad rates like that day will double, and then right up to about Christmas, they triple. Because that's when all the companies do their advertising because everybody's shopping for Christmas. Then in January, February, we make absolutely nothing. It goes down about 300%, and that's why a lot of YouTubers just like take those months off. I am getting exactly the same rates that I was in like June. So they've effectively gone down, they just haven't literally gone down. They just haven't gone up. So I expect it to crash pretty bad in January. In fact, I got about the same ad rates as I was like during COVID when nobody was spending anything in pre-inflation. So, yeah, that's not great. On my newest channel where I just cover how to beat casinos, about 2/3 of my money comes from Patreon, so I'm not really concerned. Actually, I had some viral videos and then it kind of calmed down and settled in, which always happens with explosive growth on new channels. I think the ratio now, let me check. Wow, ad revenues on YouTube are 19% of the income from that channel because it is a completely different business model. It's give out the information for free, but if you want it all in one convenient place, you just pay me a couple dollars and then an ongoing subscription model. So it's the freemium thing. Very, very, very good for very rapid growth, and I'm never going to change it no matter what size I get. Now, this channel, I used to make $5,000 a month on it. Lately, I've been making like, well, it depends what you consider to be lately, but $1,000, but I'm below $200 a month on this channel now. It's just on cruise control. I'm just covering the stuff that needs to be covered and not trying to force it or have growth or create viral content or anything I was doing 7 years ago. So this channel is even less worthwhile to upload to, but I don't care. I'm just doing it because I have a community. I have a bunch of subs. You guys care and you want to hear about the news, and very few other people are covering it in the exact way that I do, which is the unbiased truth. Not to mention from a very, very, very conservative standpoint too, where I call them out on the stuff that other people just sweep under the rug because they don't want to make waves. So the ad rates being stale to like about to drop to, you could say down, it's affecting this channel the most. But I'm not exactly in too much trouble. I am still looking for a job. It's been way too long. These companies are moving at a snail's pace, and they keep going with someone else because they're like, well, but they have more certifications than you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a better worker than them. Whatever. So, I ain't exactly going bankrupt or getting kicked out of the house anytime soon here, but it's getting a little tight. Luckily, I just pulled a 3-day absolute marathon AP run at Potawatomi down in Milwaukee and came out with about $9,000. That's a lot of living expenses. I am on that hustle and I'm done playing long run stuff that's risky, baby. It is going to be number go up and that's that. Also, I got filming permission there, so that changes everything. So the future is looking bright for that, but I do not want to go back to doing YouTube full time unless I have about 100,000 in the bank as just like a little emergency buffer, and 10,000 a month. Take a guess if I'm there yet. And 10K isn't, I want a fancy car. 10K is, I might break my arm. I might, my car might blow up, and I got to pay my taxes. So just kiss 40% of that goodbye. I could live off of 6K. That's a comfortable amount to still put some in my savings, some into my IRA, have health insurance that I pay for myself, pay double social, double taxes, double everything, because being self-employed sucks. So I'd prefer to still have an 8-hour day job, normal 40 week. Just little update on that, but this is like the finance and the future of the channel video again. Hate to spoil the ending, but once again, I'm not going anywhere and I'm not reducing the pace. If anything, I'll up it. But oh boy, what is going on with me and other YouTubers you watch? Because now it's like, what is just going on with YouTube? You probably want some answers because I just found it out and I guarantee you guys haven't heard about this. So ad rates are down. Nobody knows why. The logical reason is the ads are being split between more places, more videos, but then the viewership isn't scaling evenly. So more people are uploading, so there's less to go around is basically how it is. But then my views would be going down. Now they are, but it turns out that is a separate issue. Everybody put 2 and 2 together because views are down, ad rates are a little stale, and they're down because views are down, because the views are being split between 300 channels instead of 200 channels that people watch, And it must be AI. Well, YouTube is cracking down on AI. People, if they find out it's an AI narrator, they all thumbs down it to oblivion and immediately leave a nasty comment. The backlash is huge, and honestly, I don't think dumb 14-year-olds actually, I think a 14-year-old could spot an AI video. Dumb 10-year-olds who don't make YouTube any money, by the way, because of the classification that they're in, they can't be tracked. Them going to watch some AI garbage that they don't know any better, it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really affect us. And plus, my channel, the demographics are like 35 plus. So where are the views going? It turns out that there was this whole thing where they weren't, for a very short period, they weren't tracking anybody with an ad blocker wasn't showing up as a view. That was like the conspiracy, and it was somewhat proven. Then people thought, well, it must still be going on. No, they fixed that problem. As far as I know, they mostly fixed that problem. Because it was showing up that 5% of people were watching on a desktop all of a sudden, and 50% were on mobile, and 40% were on a smart TV. That is just false. That is not true. So they fixed that reporting problem. So that implies that they fixed it. Now, what is really going on is if you run evergreen content, you are smart. If you're just here's the news story of the day, you're a Philip DeFranco, or you're a Game Ranks or something, where you're here's these gaming stories that happened in October 2025, and then nobody will watch that a month from now, a year from now. That's dead content. It's useless. Now, if I made, here's how to swap out the brakes on your Camry, that could get viewed for 10 years. That is just as valid later as it was now, and not just philosophically, oh, this is still valuable information. It's people will still search for it. So as long as you got a good thumbnail, you edited it tight, you got good audio, people don't abandon it in the first 10% of viewership, and you put the right description in and title, you're the most click-worthy. You will continue to get clicks until people aren't searching for it anymore. That is what they call evergreen content. So my survival channel, that's all evergreen information. It's batteries, solar, that kind of stuff. Wind, how to heat your house in case of a power outage. That's still relevant for the next, 10 years, and it's still getting views. And then all of a sudden, my views started to go down, down, down. And it wasn't oh, they're slowly going down, they're losing interest, it must be competition from other channels, I need to step it up, let the best man win, up the quality, that kind of stuff. Maybe I don't upload enough, maybe it's an algorithm, maybe they made an algorithm in Discovery change, which they do all the time. It was overnight, literally, I looked back one day, all of a sudden my views got cut in half on all of my evergreen content. I have videos that got 10 to 15,000 views per month for the last 5 years, consistently. I just leave them sit and make money. That is why you make evergreen content. Even on this channel, once in a while, upload a banger hey, this idiot got caught at a Magic tournament cheating. Those were still getting views up until recently. Hey, Arena is cheating you. Here's a 200,000 view documentary that's just never, ever, ever going to hit the brakes. People are going to get recommended this. They're always going to click on it. They're going to be engaged in the first minute. They're going to watch the whole thing, leave a like, and leave a comment. And so YouTube will keep serving it to them until they decided not to. All of the evergreen content on this channel, all of my other channel that is 100% evergreen content, all of them just decided, hey, your most viewed videos, your most popular videos, cut them. Literally in half. It was overnight 50%. So they changed their policy to favor newer content because I guess it's getting to the point. This is my theory about why they did it. If you watch an arcade mat video called, like, it's something like what happens when you tilt a coin pusher. 1.8 million views. It's in his like top 20 most viewed videos, but the audio is bad. It's 12 years old. They uploaded that 12 years ago. The camera isn't very good, and people are just like, oh, that's like old YouTube. So people who are 12 years old don't know what video looked like 12 years ago. Everything that they've seen is just ultra HD, top quality, top production value. They don't even know what a flip HD is. They have no idea, and how things were back in 2007, 2008. So it might be a really good video. It's just, well, I mean, microphone technology has been there since the 90s. You can't say, if you had a bad mic, it's because you had a bad mic. But low frame rate, bad video, bad shot, bad lighting, bad CCD, bad digital camera, that, I guess, they found out, would be my guess, was some people were just like, oh, what is this? Oh, YouTube is full of low quality stuff. And the second part, and this is proven, is they've been pushing the new discovery stuff like crazy. You might, like on the side of this video, if you look up and down the strip of suggested next videos, you're going to see some stuff with like 100 views from some no-name. Or they've been pushing this lately, somebody you've never watched before, but it's their most popular like top 5 videos, but it's going to be 1 year or especially 6 months old or less. Because trying to go out and find what to watch, they'd rather use their algorithm because it's getting really, really smart. So they want to recommend more stuff to you instead of just, well, here's the 10 people you watch, here's some more stuff from them, because that only goes so far. And then you eat, no matter how good they are, you're like, I can only watch so many cooking videos or so many comedy videos or so many things about boating and fishing. And eventually you just leave, not to go watch on a different site because there really aren't any. It's to like go cruise social media or like go post on Reddit or go watch Netflix or whatever. They're really competing with streaming services or people just not watching online video at all and just going and doing something else, playing video games or going to exercise or going for a walk or whatever. Mobile games especially, just playing a mobile game instead of YouTube. They are losing so many eyes to that. So what they want is, well, here's some new channel I've never seen. And I just found the John Malecki Unscrewed channel. It is hilarious. He does like these tool reviews that get completely out of control. And I'm like, okay, I'll subscribe to him. And what have I been doing for the last 3 days? Watching all of his back catalog because it's hilarious. So they keep recommending me his like top 10 videos. So that's still in the system, but they're also promoting new content because it's not old content. Now, I could get them cutting off 10 years ago content because of the quality, no matter how viral it was or whatever, because people are like, well, that's really low quality. And there's nothing they could do. They only allowed you to upload in 480p back then. Let alone nobody had like $1,000 Canon, you know? They didn't even pay us back then. They started paying us in like 2011 or something. I don't even remember. I mean, you can just look up how old is the YouTube Partner Program if you care. So nobody's dropping mad money on their channel. They all looked and sounded like crap, and they don't want that in front of people who will just be like, oh, that's just another low quality video from like 15 years ago. Oh, I'm not watching on this site. This is the site with bad homemade videos. When these days, everything made in the last year looks like Netflix, you know? People got these solid cameras just built into their phones, let alone if they just try a little bit harder. I mean, even just LED lighting and how cheap it got. I mean, just microphones went up in quality for cheaper. So I think you combine those different factors and they want people to watch newer stuff, and they also want timely stuff because it's the same old people watching the same old content, and eventually they might just be like, okay, I clicked on 2 like viral videos from 8 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago, and it got 10 million views. Cool. But it's just that's not really the sense of humor and the cultural stuff that's relevant right now. So I guess someone decided we want new content, because if you go on TikTok, it is 100% new content. You won't get recommended anything older than 30 days ago. Jeez. If it's a week ago, it's buried. So they want that treadmill. They want everybody to be uploading because that just means more content, more variety, and you especially need that if the videos are 60 seconds long or shorter. So you need that. You can't have people just sit back and say, I'm making enough money. This video is never going to lose traction. When it loses traction, I'll upload another video. Well, they want it to lose traction after about 5 days, so you're always on that treadmill. So YouTube is cloning that because they don't want old stale content where you're just like, yeah, I get it, but that was like a YouTube poop funny, hilarious remix or a monkey reacting to magic tricks, but that's like older humor. Like, I get it, it's entertaining, but this is an old site full of old quality with old topics that aren't relevant anymore. And I think more like teenagers are running into that and then going elsewhere. And so I think that's what YouTube did, but it was just revealed that through a different type of analytic that Mr. Beast was doing, he found that the channels with evergreen content are getting just destroyed by this change. Because no matter how good and how relevant their stuff is, and even if it's like a podcast with a static image, they're all getting caught up in the, no, we want to prioritize news. So just blanket across the board, every channel, every category, every topic are getting nailed by this. So evergreen content channels are getting nuked. Now, if you are a famous Mr. Beast person, you know, something like that, where like people kind of age into your content, where it's like maybe 8 to 11 start watching your videos, and then they watch some of your back stuff and cool, he'll make, I think he said one time, it's 75% of his money comes from old videos and 25% from new ones. Well, now they're suppressing even his back catalog. He was like doing all his views and hiring analytics teams, and like he has a whole crew, and they were just like, we can't figure out what's going on. And finally they separated it out by new versus old because somebody had a theory about that, and that's where it lit up. That's where they're just like, oh, because they were looking at aggregate numbers. They're like, why are views down? We're doing everything right. This doesn't make sense. It's because they're making it so it's impossible to watch your old content because it never gets recommended. And the cutoff, I think they said, seems to be 6 months. So 6 months is really short. Really, really, really short. And then it's kind of like a balancing act where like right now I'm looking at my recommended, it's John Malecki. 10 months ago and 1 month ago, they're showing me his 2 like almost top videos, but they're less than a year. Now they're like his super highest performing videos, but they're still less than a year. So they let him go past 6 months because it's just that good. So what they did is the whole like, what's the click-through rate on this video? And that was all they ever used. Now it's what's the click-through rate on this video, but penalize it more and more and more based on how old it is. And now that they made that change, which is, debatably, yeah, it enforces quality. Okay, everybody's pissed because everybody's losing money. Because if you had anything resembling evergreen content, any kind of comedy content, animated content, something that's still relevant for 10 years, instructional content, you are getting destroyed by this. Now it's only unrecommended. If somebody types in how to fix the brakes on a Camry, they're still going to find your video. It doesn't seem like the search has been penalized with that time thing, but I'm hearing people are starting to suspect that it is a little bit. So when it's like, what do I watch next? I'm open to anything. That's where you're getting absolutely nailed because they're favoring new content way heavier. The other smaller factors are, that whole blah, blah, blah and blah, 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 where 2 people upload and then it shows up in the feed for anybody subscribed to both automatically, so you don't have to worry about, hey, I did a collab with this person. Hey, go follow them. Click the link. Click it in the description. Click it in the comment section. If you're on mobile, you're not going to open the description and you're not going to scroll to the comment section most of the time. And so it kind of worked because it's like only people who are really serious about that other channel that you did a collab with are going to bother to go through the couple seconds it takes to click and subscribe over there and check them out. But now that it's automatic where you can actually tag the person, it's like more than that. You are effectively cross-promoting it automatically in the algorithm. Now, because of that, people are discovering more channels, they're subscribing to more channels, and their views are getting diffused. Because if I subscribe to 100 channels versus I subscribe to 200 channels, I can only watch so much in the free time that I have. So views are getting diffused over a larger number of channels. It's just like the whole streaming problem like 15 years ago with audio, where people are like, man, it's so impossible to be a band and make money because of streaming. It's not because people are stealing your music. It's not because they're ripping you off on the rates. It's because people listen to more music at all. And they're not willing to have 1 hour of music listening turn into 3 hours and pay triple. That is not within their budget. They're not willing to do it. So you get paid less because it's getting diffused. Their money is getting split over more artists. Oh, well, deal with it. Either go bankrupt, close, or do better. It sucks, but oh, well, that's just technology. That's reality. That's a business shift, and you got caught up in it. Oh, well, it sucks. And I know a lot of bands that were affected by that personally. However, if those views are on YouTube and they're just getting diffused on YouTube, they're still on YouTube. So at the end of the day, A couple select creators who are really, really, really good would be seeing their views go up, and the ones that are mediocre to low tier would be seeing it go down. No, everybody's seeing it go down, which is why that theory is not the primary factor. However, if you are a medium quality, medium effort channel, like mine, you are going to get destroyed by people getting discovery, as they call it. You're discovering new channels by doing the auto collab, auto tagging thing. And now it's like, well, do I click on a Desolator video or do I click on that? Some portion of the time, people are going to choose the other one, and there go your views. So now you're getting penalized on both ends with the is it new content or not penalty. And then you have to compete in a bigger pool of people and be better and more entertaining and more clickbaity with a stupid, dumb expression on your face and your stupid thumbnail, which I still refuse to do. Because the human eye is drawn to human faces, and human faces with a non-neutral expression. If you're wondering why everybody does that, so a surprised, angry, shocked, it is like a base level human thing that your eyes will bounce straight to that thumbnail over everybody else's, because that's an alarmed human. What are they alarmed about? Oh, that's something I need to pay attention to. They're scared. What are they scared of? That will never stop. Humans will never change. You can't override it. No matter how hard you try, it is base level brain stuff. And so now everybody's got some stupid expression on their face and their stupid thumbnails, and I'm paying because of it because I refuse to do it. And if everybody's doing it, then it stops working for everybody because everybody's doing it. So now we get to look at stupid, exaggerated, high contrast faces in every thumbnail from now on. Thanks, human brain / people like Mr. Beast that figured this out first and then leaked the information in his stupid training course. And it's just the type of thing where you can't put the genie back in the bottle, just like AI. So I think, AI slop uploads, AI generated crap, that's driving up the number of content at all. And then also it's the discovery system. Also, it's the economy and people not buying as many ads, which I forgot to mention, but that's the other factor for why it's going down. But then with more target videos, the bidding system, as they call it, the pool goes down, so you pay less per click. So that's why the ad rates are down. It's because of the volume of videos that is basically proven at this point. And it's not entirely AI, it's access to free editing software and phones, which if you edit a video on a phone, you're doing it wrong, but people do it. Let alone really easy editing stuff like Shotcut and Quick something. I don't know. I use Adobe, obviously. But even Adobe Premiere Elements is $100 right now, and I got it on a discount. So for $60, you can set up a professional level editor, and there you go. And then is your computer fast enough? You don't even need a computer for video editing like you did back in 2007. You needed a crazy computer. You needed a quad core. Oh my gosh. And you needed to throw $5,000 at it. Now it's well, you go get something off the shelf for $500. It's got 16 gigs RAM, and let's go. You got a 6-core. All right. Onboard video acceleration, sure. You got an Intel onboard with GPU acceleration and DX12 support and stuff. So now it's the gateway to entry, as they call it, is so much lower that people are just oh, I could do this. And there's so many examples that are so widespread of how to run a channel correctly that anybody can get into it. Now, let's go, YouTube 2008. Anybody with a cell phone could shoot some stupid thing of their dog. They did it wrong. They framed it wrong. They didn't chop the front. The audio's crap. People don't watch it. Everybody was just I don't know, whatever. How do I make this perfect? Who knows? Now, the knowledge is out there. The tech is out there. The computer speed is out there. It's open game to literally anybody. That is a problem because now there's too many people making videos and it didn't scale upward with the number of ads. Also, people are finally discovering that online advertising doesn't work. Now, the best version of it is not stupid banner ads and pop-ups and crap on some news site. It's video ads, but everybody's hitting skip or they've got high-level ad blockers, which are now just built right into the browser. So access to ad blockers was a big problem, except if you're not viewing the ad, then the ad rates should kind of go up because now there's less viewers of the ads. So that's not entirely the problem. It's just a problem. But think about it. All of these things are happening at once. AI, access to more people uploading more videos that are more high quality. They decided to prioritize new stuff because it looks better, sounds better, and dumb 13-year-olds were like, "Ew, this is old," and then going somewhere else and doing something else. TikTok hasn't been shut down, and it's rotting everybody's brains. Nobody wants to watch anything longer than 5 minutes on YouTube. Evergreen content is being pushed aside, and the algorithm drastically changed because of it. So, all of that happening at once right before January, I think a lot of the mid-sized and small YouTubers are going to give up in January. I'm not going anywhere because just on principle, I'm going to keep covering this topic because why not? I enjoy it. I want to tell you what's going on and give you my opinions on it. And unless it starts costing me money, I'm going to do it for free or $200 or 180 or 300 or whatever it is. It just is what it is, whatever. So what can you do? The most important thing you can do is give yourself a little Christmas present and sign up for YouTube Premium. I know you didn't expect that to come out of my mouth, but one, it takes the power away from the advertisers so they can't just boycott YouTube and tell them what to do with their lefty crap. And secondly, I believe, last I checked, and this is probably drastically incorrect now, but it's probably in the neighborhood, one viewer with what they used to call YouTube Red, when they let us view these statistics, and they now suppress it, by the way, but I have this legacy information, one YouTube Red viewer was worth 80 regular ones. So if you want to support all of the creators that you watch automatically without giving $1 to 50 different Patreon accounts and then remembering who's who and who's still uploading and, oh, I super chatted this and gave him a super thanks here and then, well, I'm a channel member here, just screw all that and just sign up for YouTube Premium because then one, you get YouTube Premium and it benefits you. You get 0 ads. And two, your subscription, it's like a 60-40 split, probably 70-30, something in that neighborhood. The portion gets split up over what you watch, and it's by hour. So if you watch nothing but one channel, they would get 100% of like 60% of your monthly subscription automatically. You don't have to do anything. Anybody who watches YouTube more than an hour a day should have YouTube Premium. And they keep jacking up the price and blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, complaints. I hate YouTube. I don't want to give them money. But you're giving them money. You're just giving them less. And an enormous portion of that subscription goes to the creators. Like, huge. Imagine if every single person who watches this channel signed up. It would go from like $200 a month to 80 times that. Times 80. 80x multiplier. So if 10% of you do that, that is still a very big raise for me and everybody else you watch. And back in the day when I measured this, 1/3 of all my income on this channel was from YouTube Premium people who were like represented like 3% of the viewership or something. So we should all be plugging it. They should tell us that so we can all collectively go, oh, it benefits me? Ha, free advertising campaign. I'm going to tell everybody to sign up because it benefits me. And then just watch the rates skyrocket. So that's one thing you can do to help out. That, just watch more YouTube, I guess. I don't know. You only have so much time and like it's not the best use of your time unless it's educational content. You really should be like working out or outside, but if you're working out or outside, you could also be watching YouTube. So there is that. And then if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, just don't. There's enough competition. Okay, I had to throw that in because it will technically help us. But the number one thing you can do is just stop watching AI crap. Okay, we've all seen the fake cat doorbell thing. It's hilarious. Cat lighting off fireworks, firing a rifle in the air and playing a drum solo on a fake Ring camera. And ha ha ha, it's so funny. Somebody went boop 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 and do a prompt thing and then generated it. Whereas if you did that for real, you'd have to have a whole CGI background. You have to mock it up, have puppets, or have like a green screen. And like, it would be this whole production. Nobody would bother to do it. Now it's just easier. And that's the problem. It's entertaining. It's wonderful, but it's AI generated and you need to just boycott AI. If you need a bigger reason other than, oh, well, get with the times, old man. AI's new. You can't make handmade, slow as crap, human content and expect to make money off it forever. Get with the times. Let me just remind you that AI can be used surveillance, control, censorship, and it's going to ruin society eventually. It's just a matter of how fast. So if you push back against it, good. Everywhere in every community where it opens, the power bills go way up and they use up all your water. And on top of it, you might not have heard, Crucial, the biggest maker of RAM in the world, as far as I know, they just shut down. They just closed today. They're gone because they're owned by Micron. Micron just announced we're shutting down all of Crucial. So no more RAM, no more SSDs from Crucial because, and they admitted this is not a theory, they said it in their press release, we're just going to orient towards commercial production of flash chips. Well, it's going to AI data centers because everybody's building that because they think it's the future. Now, the more money that goes towards AI, the bigger when the bubble pops. People say it's not a bubble, it would have popped already. And they're pointing to the circular, like jacking up of the income levels for income that didn't actually happen. That's like theoretical. And it's all these like promissory income swaps and crap between NVIDIA and OpenAI. That stuff is shady as hell. And it's going to take those dinosaurs in Congress, if they even aren't just bribed by them, like years to adapt to that. So it's already, that by itself is like housing crisis on steroids level of money, where your like grandma's retirement account is going to collapse because of their irresponsible crap just by themselves. But on top of that, Every business you go to, their computer now costs more because RAM is like, instead of $50 a kit, it's $150 a kit. So every single computer that gets replaced at every company, everywhere you work, their labor costs just went up because of inflation and Joe Biden from the crooked crap they pulled during COVID and the minimum wage laws. And then on top of it, now the computers cost more. Now you're going to get charged more for everything, to go everywhere, do everything, bring anything anywhere, perform any kind of service. And your mobile phone just went up because your mobile phone has RAM in it. Everything has RAM in it. Your smart fridge has RAM in it. Everything you do in your life just got more expensive because of AI. And then on top of it, AI is a bubble. Nobody wants it. Nobody can, like, Microsoft's trying to push Copilot and very quickly realizing nobody wants this. Oh crap, we invested all this time, all this money, all this borrowed, loaned money on this AI crap, and nobody's buying it because nobody wants it. It costs too much, and it's inaccurate and unsafe, and it's insecure. It leaks data constantly. The data is inaccurate and it can't do anything that we want it to. And everybody's like, not Copilot's the future. Look at this efficiency. It's going to help our company, which is what it started out as a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Now it's just like, we don't want that. It doesn't work and we can't afford it. So they already built it all and nobody wants their products. That's the start of it right here. Now there's not enough RAM to go around. They're just throwing endless money at it because venture capital is like anything with their word AI in it, throw it at it. And it's really looking like the dot-com boom, which was a bubble. Now you might say, well, yeah, the dot-com boom of like 2001 was a bubble. That is factual. It all collapsed and a lot of places went bankrupt and it kicked the economy in the nuts. However, the internet didn't go anywhere and it wasn't a fad and it did grow. It's just too much money was in it. AI is not going anywhere, okay? It's not like 3D gaming or 3D televisions where they're like, no, this time it'll work. This time it's the future. And then it still gave people headaches. It was a gimmick and it cost too much. Does that sound familiar with AI? It's a gimmick. It costs too much and it doesn't work well enough. And that bubble popped. Anybody investing in 3D lost their butts. If you were investing in a 3D television manufacturer, you're already bankrupt. So before you go watching a bunch of AI-generated crap on YouTube, maybe think about that. Even if you're like, well, but it's entertaining for me and it's better content, so let the best man win. Oh, well, you know. Oh, those poor switchboard operators when they invented the automatic, tone-based dialing routing system for phones. Oh, those poor, who cares? It's more efficient, get out of the way. Yeah, you lost your job, you lost your career, you got to go get retrained or you're in financial danger or you have to retire early. Oh, well, it sucks for you, things change, you should have had 2 skill sets. Just go work a general labor job. Oh, well, bad luck. Bad luck happens. Move on with your life. At least you live in America. You're already winning. Not everything in your life's going to be handed to you and perfect. Okay, just get over it. But in this case, no. There's reasons to fight AI, even if you like AI content. Even if you use ChatGPT to give you cool recipes and it saves you time and money. I would say just on principle and to accelerate sending them a message that they need to stop spending on this AI crap because nobody wants it. As soon as the usage numbers and viewership level off and start going down, that is when AI is going to get scared and start pulling some of the money. So the higher you go first, the further you fall. It is a sure thing, a 100% chance, in my opinion, that when this AI bubble pops, it is going to bring down the entire world economy. It is going to be Great Depression levels. It is going to be way, way, way worse than the housing crisis because all that was just one segment of the loans in the banking department, and that almost brought down the whole world. This is going to be post-World War I, Great Depression level nightmare scenario when everybody bought up all these data centers and they can't do anything with them. And then on top of that, AI isn't going anywhere, so it'll just get way cheaper. It'll fall to them operating at a loss, so they're going to have to do shady crap to monopoly abuse to make up for the differences. And then everybody's going to be unemployed, but then at the same time as them being unemployed because their AI-based, investment thing went down or their company that worked with AI went down and they just, oh, well, not enough income, close down, you're out of a job. Now AI is also replacing jobs because that's something that'll never stop. That's a really bad combination. So get ready for a lot of crime and poverty by bare minimum the 2030s. Really looking forward to that. Go subscribe to my other channel, Emergency Survival Tips, to learn how to live in a scenario like that. Oh, and on top of it, China's economy is collapsing because they lied about the number of deaths, they lied about their population, and nobody there is having kids anyway because they either don't want to, they don't have the money to, or they're physically unable to because all of their land and meat is poisoned with illegal hormones and antibiotics that they just bribe somebody to overlook. And now they all have reproductive harm. There's 400% more fertility clinics in China per person than there is in America, and they have less money than us. Population collapse there when they're not going to let immigrants in because they're the most racist company on the face of the earth. That's a bad combination when they make all of our crap. So hooray for tariffs, hooray for Trump bringing it back domestically, but it's too late, too little. But China collapsing, the world AI bubble popping, and anomalous weather patterns that will affect production of crops all going on at once. I don't think that my revenue going down 20% on YouTube is my number one thing that I'm worried about. I just wanted to explain to you guys why it's happening because it just came out after a statistical analysis and a big mind-blowing report by Mr. Beast and a couple others who checked his numbers and confirmed it. So that's what's happening to my channels, your channels, and everybody else's channels. Now you know, and now you know that there's bigger fish to fry, and if you made YouTube your full-time career, you're already doing it wrong. Unless you did what the smart ones do, and instead of buying a $5,000 a month mansion, you put it all in the bank in a high-interest bearing account, tied it up in some index fund investments, and then diversified into silver and gold. If you're not having an existential panic, let me this isn't investment advice, but heard from a little birdie that silver's at record prices. I looked into why, and I talked to some people who know some things, and it's going to keep going because you need between 12 ounces and 2 pounds of silver to build an electric car because silver has the lowest resistance, is lower than gold. And it is way lower than copper. For certain components in high wattage things, that's just you need to use silver or it will melt. Or it will be too heavy if copper is there because you have to use too much of it. So it used to be for jewelry and for just really weird little medical things that need ultra low resistance and like lasers and stuff. Now it's just in everything. And then on top of it, silver is being bought up at record levels because of AI data centers because they need so much electricity. It's mostly in the power supplies. It's not in the interlink cables, but in some cases it is because you just cannot have that level of heat, let alone inefficiency. So a lot of the 1600 watt modular power supplies that are just powering like high level servers and they're going higher from there for the GPUs, they're just basically internally made out of silver. So silver is not going to go back down even if AI crashes. It can only go down so far. But if the economy starts failing and the US dollar goes down and everything gets downturned, everybody parks their money into precious metals, especially when they've been going up consistently and there's still a demand for it. So I just bought several pounds of silver with the amount of money I just won at the casino. And anywhere that I'm looking for a job, they better not be selling jet skis or jewelry because that's the first thing to go when there's an economic downturn, and I don't need that. I'm looking for food, government, domestic production of like industrial stuff. Those are the only places I'm interviewing at. Everywhere else, if it's like some power sports, ATV seller, RVs, nah. Nope. Not getting into luxury goods in 2025. I'm not an idiot. I want a job for the next 10 years, and I am being serious about that. So, no thanks. I've worked at enough companies that were bankrupt or on the verge of bankruptcy, and I don't need to repeat that. If I were you, if you're kind of on the verge, expenses going up and your pay isn't, I would start looking. I would see if you're at that place, you're at least probably about 25, you have enough work experience, enough resume, experience and, enough skill set, enough certifications, whatever. It might be time to stop being complacent and move on. And a lot of the time, let me just tell you a little secret here. If expenses and inflation go up 20% over 2 years, which they did, bare minimum, you can give every single person at your entire company a 20% raise and then up your prices 20% and then not compete with other people who didn't do that. Or you could wait for, 5%, 10% of your company to either outright quit, the individuals to quit, or to demand a raise and they're irreplaceable, so you give just them a raise. Everybody else is just like, I don't want to rock the boat. I'm not the type to ask for a raise. I'll do it next year. I'll see if maybe I get a bigger raise when everybody else gets a raise. The timid types, they just whatever. Well, if you only give raises to effectively, like if somebody quits, then you have to replace them. And the replacement, you can only get people to even apply for the job if you up the rate $2 an hour. You effectively gave that person a raise by giving that position a raise. So that's how you give 5% of your company a raise is you wait for them to quit and go work somewhere else. And then you hire someone new to replace them. And then you give them 20% more money to come in the door because that's what you needed to do. That's what smart companies are taught to do. That's what companies are doing. So you need to be the person who either demands a raise or you're leaving or actually leaves because you're going to need some more money in the bank to survive what's coming in the next 10 years, let alone the next 3 years, in my opinion. And also you're going to want more than just US dollars in case you didn't learn that from COVID and inflation because US dollars just sit there and rot in the bank. And if you're going to do the traditional, well, then throw it into real estate, become a landlord, just collect it, or turnkey businesses, you're an idiot. Real estate is the first thing that's going to go. It is the most overvalued asset in all of America because of the rental culture, a bunch of manipulation by BlackRock in China. And I don't want to get into it, but yeah, real estate is not safe. That's going to be the first thing to go. The good news is you might actually be able to afford a house. Oh, and then a lot of real estate freeing up with people getting kicked out of the country. If you got less demand from less customers and more supply at the same time, prices go down. And the last thing we need right now is a faster real estate collapse. A slight real estate adjustment is fine. Just rich assholes lose money, oh no. But a drastic one, and like everybody's upside down, everybody's paying loans or defaulting, it's 2008 all over again. Just one more thing to worry about. If you live in a big city where stuff costs too much, move. That's my last tip for you. So that's what's going on my channel, in the world, with all of our income, with YouTube in general. Yeah. Want a little full EST channel on there, but if you want to go check out Emergency Survival Tips, we got a lot of reality and good, useful stuff over there. Not that anybody's going to see any of it anymore. Thanks, YouTube. Well, that's about it for now, so hopefully they change their minds and lessen the way they're doing this, and start being a little bit more generous, maybe go back 5 years instead of 6 months. And, if you got the money, go support your favorite creators on Patreon individually. Or like I said, just sign up for YouTube Premium yourself. Every little bit helps. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.